Today I'm going to show you how to change the oil on a 2020 Hyundai Accent with a canister filter. You'll need to buy oil and a filter. We'll be using Mobil 1 OW20, that's what it calls for, and the oil filter. And this is the reason why I'm showing you how to do this, is they don't use a traditional screw-on filter, but rather a canister with filter media. The nice thing about these is they come with new O-rings, and they also come with a crush washer. Other than the filter, everything else is the same. So if you've changed oil before, you know what to do. I got the car lifted a little bit so I can get under it. I removed the cap so that the oil drains easy. Underneath the car, we got our drain pan. Oil pan is right there. Drain plug is on the back side, right there. That's going to take a 17mm socket. And then we have the canister that we have to undo. That's right there. So that's going to take a 15/16 socket, or probably a 22mm. I have a 15/16, so that's what we're going to use. So let's go ahead and get the oil out. Alright, so I got the oil draining, and while we're waiting on that to drain, we're going to go ahead and change this washer on the drain plug. So that's a crush washer. It should just slide off. If it gets stuck, you can use a pair of pliers and thread it off. Now, since this car comes with a new crush washer when you buy an oil filter, these are always only one use for me, so I save these, because I also have a 2013 Hyundai Accent that I don't get a crush washer with, so I reuse these on my car. I also use them on the MGB on the remote oil filter housing. It takes crush washers, and just so happens that these fit. So I always save these. You can get a few uses out of these, but they do need to be changed. If you never change these, eventually your drain plug will drip all over your driveway. So we'll set this guy off to the side. In this bag, we have a new one, so I'm going to open that up. Okay, I'm going to go back under the car, put the drain plug back in. Then I'll pull the camera under the car and I'll show you how to take the canister filter off. Okay, before we take the canister apart, I do want to talk about this filter for a second. You see you've got this little thing that sticks up here. There is a plastic pin in that bag with the O-ring, and the pin goes through the canister housing and through this hole to lock this in place. This will turn, should turn, and pull out. See how that just turned and pulled out. So this is actually visible on the bottom of the canister filter housing. So before we actually unscrew the canister, we can pull the pin, twist that, pull it out, and all the oil will drain out of the canister. That way when you unscrew it, you don't have a mess of oil going all over. So in that aspect, I actually do like the canister a little bit better than a regular metal screw-on oil filter, because it's a little cleaner, less mess. Okay, we'll take you under the car now. All right. You can see my drain plug is back in my pan. It just threads in. And then we'll look at this canister filter. So you're going to put your socket, your 15/16 socket right here, and you're going to unscrew this. And when you do that, it actually comes apart up here. It's going to be hard to, right here is where it unscrews. But before we do that, we are going to pull this pin that I was telling you about right here. So there's the, oh, it's over here. This pin pulls out, then this will turn and pull down, and all the oil is going to drain out. So I'm going to attempt to do that while I hold the phone, but I got to get the pan under here. We'll see how this goes. Okay, I'm sure I'm going to get oil on myself, but I'm hoping that I don't drown my cell phone. Okay, locking pin is out. Then we're gonna turn. Probably gonna get some pliers. Okay. And then using some needle nose pliers, we're gonna grab, twist. That should pull out. This is really hard to do with only one hand. Try this again. And alright, so I was able to get that pulled out when I wasn't trying to hold a phone, so you can see the oil draining out. And like I said, you just turn it perpendicular to the way the pin goes in, grab it with a pair of pliers and just pull, and it will yank out. It's just hard to do when you're laying on the ground trying to hold a phone with one hand and pull it out with the other. But there you go. Now when I do unscrew that canister, I'm not going to have any mess running out the sides of it. And there's the little plug that I pulled out. You can see it's got an O-ring on it that seals it. You can also see how that's got like a T-shaped end on it that locks into the filter. So you turn it like that, pull really hard, and it comes out. Now again, we're going to go ahead and put a wrench right here, and we're just going to start unscrewing that. And it's probably going to be tight. I snug my stuff up pretty good. Let me set the phone off to the side and break this loose. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that I had that too tight last time. You can see, you just unscrew it. And I'm getting a little bit of oil draining. I guess I could put that plug back in, but I'd rather not have to mess with that. Okay, so once you unscrew that and you pull it out, this is what you've got. So you can see it goes up in the car like this. Threads in with these threads. That's the end of it. That opening is where we pulled the pin. So now we can just pull this filter out. Everything's hard to do with one hand. Okay, went ahead and got the tripod so I can show you this a little bit better. So you see you have this O-ring here. This will come off. You just want to make note of where it goes, but it goes right in this groove here. So we're going to take that off. Put the new one on. Put it right back in that groove, like so. Get a little bit of oil, just give it a light coat. Just take some old oil off of that filter there. Coat him up. Take our new filter, put it in there. You're going to want this pin to go through that opening. It should snap down like so, so that you can see all the way through that. We'll put our pin in there to hold it in place. And this is now ready to go back on. Now we're going to go back under the car and we're going to put this on. So I'll give you a quick shot of the other side of the canister so that you can see it. But really, you don't have to do anything here. We're just going to thread this back together, snug it up. Then all you got to do is put oil in it, check for leaks. And there she is, all put back together. All right, she's ready to go now. Got the oil filled back up. Cap's back on, it's been started, checked for leaks, let it cool back off, check the oil level, topped it back up, took right at about 4 quarts of oil, and I am not 100% level here, but it's not all the way to the full, it's just a little ways off, maybe about an eighth of an inch away from the full mark, but we're not on completely level ground. I believe it calls for 3.8 quarts. Got about 4 in it. Should be good to go. Like always, thanks for watching. And if you find this information or this video helped you, please like and subscribe. Thanks.